PPLC, so I don't have to read the whole thing. PPLC report, Mr. Caputi or Miss Clara?
Ms. Stokowski is going to give the report this month. You remember we talked about this at the last meeting? That a different member of the PPLC would be giving the report every month to the LSC.
Yeah, I remember that we spoke about it. I don't know what agreements we finally came to. I think the last thing that I remember was that once they met with the principal, somebody was going to let us know who was going to speak on the report.
Yeah, so we met yesterday, and Ms. Quiles is going to present for the PPLC today.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
So I'd like to start the report by going over what the PPLC is, because the last meeting, there was some confusion and there was actually things that were said about the PPLC. And I see you're still a little confused about what the PPLC is. The Professional Problems Leadership Committee is a group of teachers that represent the staff. It is not a small group of teachers that are just there for themselves. We had a double nomination process, which means that every member of the PPLC had to be nominated in a nomination meeting in which Dr. Vilches was present. We had to be nominated by other staff members, and then a vote had to take place. So we are not a small group of teachers. We are a group of teachers that has been double vetted by the entire staff. 100% of our committee is and our agenda is given to us by the staff. In fact, we have agreements that we came to make sure that we stay on point in only representing student and staff issues, and that none of our agenda items are things that are centered around the members of the committee. So the first thing I would like you to understand is what our norms are, that while we are in meeting in one of our spaces, that no one will be on the phone and that we will be 100% centered towards everything, that we listen for understanding, and that we work for the betterment of our school and our school community. The other norm is that the PPLC will not accept or recognize anonymous documents as part of our disclosure or recommendations. So 100% of what we talk about is for the staff. The other issue is that according to state law, that we are required to meet with the principal monthly, but unlike what happened at the last meeting, I would like to remind you, we do not have to go over our recommendations with the principal before the meeting. We would like to give Dr. Vilches a professional courtesy and make sure she understands what the recommendations are, but we are not required to do that. And so therefore, by state law, we have this time to share with the LSC. So there should not be any confusion or shutting down what the PPLC says, because the staff is a part of this community. And as someone who's taught here for 28 years, I would say that I am a long-standing member of this community and probably have been here more than most of the people who work at Steinmetz. So I will go on with the recommendations. Our first recommendation was that how teachers and administration refer to with rubrics and with our reach evaluations. This is something that came up because we don't have policies for things school-wide that we're actually the teachers are expected to be evaluated on. It's really difficult to be evaluated on things like cell phones when we don't have a cell phone policy throughout the building. We have a recommendation from the administration on how to handle cell phone usage within our classrooms, but there is no backup or administrative support at this time, and we'll get to that in a second. There is also a recommendation. The recommendation for that is that there's better communication and more policies regarding things that we are going to have interpretation on, and that there's going to be adequate and prompt feedback and exemplars for lesson plans from administration. If we're going to understand the unit maps, we need to have examples of our unit maps as well. The second has to do with our students with disabilities. special education teachers are given up to 4 or more IEPs at the same time to complete. Teachers have a 10-day window in which to complete IEPs. If you're given 4 IEPs on the same day or within 2 days of each other, that 10-day window shrinks and you're not able to complete an IEP with fidelity. So the Professional Problems Committee recommended that the special education case managers comprehensively look at the school calendar and assign IEPs to teachers with the calendar in mind as well. That way teachers can actually complete the IEP to the best of their ability instead of being rushed through. These are incredibly important documents to our students with disabilities, and it's not really fair to the student or the parents if teachers are rushing through this process because they're overwhelmed with the amount of paperwork that they're given on an administrative level. The third item was that we had a school threat email. The school threat email, which was vetted through law, it was vetted through communications on the part of the administration, but it was only sent to the teachers with parents and students. And so some teachers didn't receive that email because if you tab out your Google email or your Google inbox, that doesn't go into your inbox. It goes into a low priority. So while the threat was going on, teachers were not treated as if they were part of our school community because we didn't really know what was going on. We weren't told about things to look for. We can have things vetted through communications and through the law, but not all communications need to go through that. Teacher communications can be given in a different way. And again, I'm a tenured teacher. I've gone through 4 principals here. I know what the CPS policy is for that. We all do, and we just need clear, concise communication while things are going on so teachers know how to communicate with students or what not to say to students. We shouldn't be blindsided by threats. The same thing happened with the lockdown, where teachers were finding out from students that the lockdown was going to be ending and things that were going on because things weren't going into our inboxes. We should be receiving emails because we are part of this community. The next is the cell phone policy. Again, we have and it was just instated in December. A suggestion on classroom management and how to deal with cell phones. But if something happens where cell phones are an issue in your classroom, there's nowhere to send a kid. There is no process and there's no policy in regards to what happens with the school. The Uniform Discipline Code is not a policy. The Uniform Discipline Code is recommendations. There is room within the Uniform Discipline Code to deal with cell phones and other disciplinary infractions that are supported by CPS. The Uniform Discipline Code supports school policies. Other schools have done this. They've done it well. They have things that are working for them. We can look at other schools. So we suggested a committee of 5 to 7 teachers, staff, administrators. Dr. Vilch has said to include parents and students. It should be formed and a policy should be created within 60 days. The tardy policy is the same thing.
I believe
A lot of hallway issues. There are a lot of students that are
excuse me.
of a semester. We need to have kids getting into the class.
You had 5 minutes. You had 5, or you're over the 5-minute limit.
Okay, this is the last one. The tardy policy is going to be something with another committee where 5 to 7 teachers, staff, administrators form and finalize a policy within the first week. I would also like to have the LSC put these on the agenda item. I have the copy of the recommendations. I'd like them to be put on for new business on the agenda item for next month so we can see how these policies are going forward. And I will give this copy to go into the records.
Oh, you give it to us.
Oh, I gave it to him already. I just wanted to do one copy.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move forward, but I would like to make a comment afterwards. Continue.
You're
So
not gonna
before I
have CPS
adjourn, I
and the
would
law
like
department
to say
protecting you
something.
anymore, especially if the
I'm not
principal's
sure if
unionized.
the person that did the report for the PPLC was our teacher rep? Because I couldn't see.
No, she is a teacher at Steinmetz, and she serves on. She's the secretary of the PPLC.
Okay. Well, is she still there?
Yes.
Could she still hear me?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Well, what I wanted to say was, since we started the council and we started with this last year, and it's been like a back and forth. And I would like to see our local school council move forward and don't have to hear lectures from the PPLC, because we know, as a group that is professional, I would like to be treated the same way, because the way I respect people, I like
He
them
knows
to
he could say
respect
anything he wants
us
right
back.
now, and no rebuttal.
And this is not to put an argument. This is to put a stop. I would love, and we have, in the 33 years that I have served the council, I always have heard the PPLC. If the PPLC hasn't had a rep, the principal has given the report. So, it's something that it's natural. We have to focus on what we are going to do to move forward our school, and see that whatever is wrong within the school, bring it to administration, and then we could discuss if we need to work and help not only the administration, but we are here to help the teachers too. The LSC is not only to look out for one person. We're here to evaluate the whole system of the administration. And if we're going to evaluate the administration, we need your support as teachers to come together and tell us, listen, you know what? We need books. We need calculators. We need workshops. We need whatever you need. We're willing to help, because that's helping our students move forward. I did a little visit the other day, and I saw, how teachers are working hard with these students. So let's move forward. Let's get these reports. We don't have to go into arguments of what is my position, your position, or anybody's position. Let's think. Our position here is to make sure that our students get the best of the best. We feel that
Mr.
every
Quiles?
student has to move forward, and this is not up for discussion situation. I let everybody speak. I let, with all due respect, the report. I had no problems. I'm just giving my personal comment on the issue. Like I said, I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the staff. I want to thank everybody. And I hope that from today on, when we come to our next meeting, I don't want to hear this argument. Let's argue about what's going on in the bathrooms at the school. Let's argue about those things that are affecting our kids. If I'm going to go deep into situations, yes, I would tell you, I see that we need to correct stuff, but that comes with time. I know that we cannot turn the world in one day. So with that said, I want to wish everybody a happy new year again. Let's move forward. I love you guys. I'm willing to work with all you guys. And I have a motion
Like I
to
said,
adjourn
he
this
knew what he
meeting.
was doing. He
Second.
doesn't have to get a
motion.
rebuttal to what he said.
Open for discussion.
Also, sir, I
Yes,
really
Ms. Otis?
It was just one thing, the chat wasn't open, and I was just I agree with what you're saying, but then I also wanted to just give Destiny my email, and I can't get it to her.
Maybe because
okay.
it's recording.
You could text it to me, Miss Odin, and I'll send it to her through email.
Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Owens. Okay, Open for discussion, no discussion. Roll call, those in favor?
Dr. Vilches,
Yes.
Mr. Quiles,
Aye.
I say yes. Ms. Oden,
Yes.
Yeah, she's a big boy.
Ms. Itzel Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Destiny Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Rolando
And
Rodriguez.
that's hard to do.
Yes.
Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Merlos,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson. 9 in favor, 1 not in attendance. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
Mr. Quiles, there was no argument. You have to allow the PPLC to have a report. You did not for 2 months.
Meeting adjourned.
That's just the law. It's not an argument. I thought you might have been confused and was
Meeting adjourned. If you need